There's nothing worse than an underperforming food plot. We invest all this time, energy, resources, coin into the land, and when it doesn't pay us back, it's a real shame. And so what we're gonna do today is talk through what we're doing in this plot right here, which was drastically underperforming last hunting season, to turn this thing around, and what you might be able to do with a poor performing food plot on your land. So first and foremost, anytime I've got an underperforming plot, the first thing I look at is soil pH. I want to do soil samples. I want to understand why whatever we have planted here might not be performing well. And in this plot, it was pretty obvious. We've got really high acidity in the soil. And so when I look at soil and I look at how we can treat it to bring that acidity down, we had lime, but lime takes time. So I can't add enough lime so that it brings the acidity in the soil down for this season. So what I need to do is plant something here that does well in acidic soil. So that's what we're doing here. We looked at what performs well around our farm and also performs really well with high acidity in the soil. And we went with brassicas because they do well in both. They perform on our farm and they do well with a high acidic soil. So what we're doing in this plot is we're adding brassicas, we're overseeding on our buckwheat and clover blend that was in here that didn't perform all that well last year. And we're doing that for our soil health. Anytime I don't need to turn the soil, I won't turn the soil. And in this scenario, what we did, the process that we're planning here, is we mow everything down, we broadcast over the top. While it's still wet and while it's still cut, I drag to pull that cut grass over the seed, and then it'll germinate down into the soil. So what we've done here is we've simply added brassicas to a clover plot that's got a little wheat in it, and that brassica is now gonna be the main draw with just a little bit of clover that bring them back in, a nice perennial, again next spring. So without turning the soil, without investing a whole bunch of time, money, what we've done here is simply add a prime food source that'll do really well in this soil, and we've done it pretty easily right here on this plot. So before you go out and you till the whole thing up and you start from scratch, pull that soil pH. Understand what your soil samples look like. Try to figure out what performs well in other areas on your farm that would also perform well on the failing plot in the soil that you've got there. And then overseed if at all possible, drag over the top, get some germination going, and you'll have yourself what we hope is a super sweet hunting plot this fall.